Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for being here. And in this video we're going to have a quick look at incorporating more confidence within our body. So if we're somebody who is shy and we want to kind of break free from that shyness and incorporate more confidence in our body and in our daily life, there are just little things that we can do to begin that. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to jump into things that we're not comfortable with, but it's just a meaning of if we want to kind of be more out there, maybe be more outgoing and maybe meet new people, for instance. I want to say as well too that being shy is something that you can just embody in a way that it's confidence as well. So it's not about anything that is not that we have to be a certain type of way in order to be confident. No, we can still be shy and be confident as well. But if we are somebody who just kind of wants to kind of embrace a more kind of solidified confidence within ourselves, they're just little things that we can begin with. So first of all, we know that we start off with our mindset. As we know, we talk a lot about that on this channel. And when we look at the mindset, we look at affirmations, but we also look at information that we can read and we can take in on how to kind of incorporate whatever it is that we are transitioning into. So, books on confidence, audios on confidence, and then we identify maybe limiting beliefs that maybe we have an old story that says that we're not good enough to be out there, we're not good enough to be seen, we're not good enough to be heard, all of these kind of limiting beliefs that we can identify and overcome them through its opposite. I am knowing I am good enough to be seen. I am believing that I am good enough to be seen. This is a truth for me. I am good enough to be seen. So little kind of affirmations that we can use to kind of gear our mindset in that way. So along with that as well, we do want to be looking to the nervous system. And the reason for this is because since we were born, our nervous system has been how we identify feelings of safety, consistency, reassurance, how we can rely on, the outside as well too, to show up for us and support us. And so since we were born, we have been kind of operating through our nervous system. So if we have a dysregulated nervous system, it can come down, I suppose, to maybe things that happen in our childhood that were unfavorable to our nervous system, how we kind of experience things in our life, how we shook ourselves up with certain, processes that may have happened through grief or anything like that. And so knowing that we need to kind of regulate the nervous system in order to be kind of more comfortable within our body is a key then to kind of solidifying that confidence. True confidence really comes from a knowing within yourself. It's not that we're kind of walking around and, saying we're confident, saying we're this and saying that we're that. It's more of a quietness in a way that it kind of, you don't have to say very much, but people kind of can see it from who you are, if that makes sense. It's like you kind of demand respect from the person that you are, if that makes sense. And so when we kind of come into ourselves and come into our truth more and kind of embrace the authenticity of who we are, that kind of allows us to show up in that way. But in order to embrace that authenticity, we want to be kind of clear in how we want to change our mindset and clear in kind of how much we want to live by values and principles and boundaries and kind of stick to those things. If we are somebody who is, starting out in this process, or somebody who kind of wants to elevate more in their journey, in their mindset and in their body. So when we elevate more as well, as we look to our nervous system, there are things that we can do to be comfortable in our body. So I know that the nervous system can be calmed down through meditation and breath work and, activities like yoga and Pilates and things that we can actually do, maybe walking and all of that kind of thing. So also the gym, I suppose, as well too, is another way for anyone who likes to use exercise in a way to kind of regulate the nervous system, but also kind of becoming more comfortable in allowing ourselves to relax into our hips. And what I mean by this is that when we're relaxed into kind of our hips, we have the root chakra and we have the sacral chakra within our hip kind of region. And when we are relaxed in that, we're kind of exuding more comfortability within our body. And when we exude more comfortability within our body, we're not fidgeting as much, and we're not kind of moving about as much. We're relaxed, we're calm, we kind of know who we are, we're solidified and grounded in our self-worth. We sit in a way that is kind of, it's kind of like it's grounded, it's self-assured, and even when we walk as well too. So anyone who knows, even Marilyn Monroe, if we look at Marilyn Monroe for instance as well too, if you watch Marilyn Monroe, she has this certain walk about her, and her walk is really allowing her hips to kind of flow from either side, and it's beautiful. It's a very confident walk for a woman. And when we are, particularly if you were a woman as well, a lot of the time when we're not confident in ourselves, we won't even think about walking the way Marilyn Monroe did, because we will feel that we don't want extra attention on ourselves. And even for men as well too, men can walk in a way that is comfortable as well. They may not sway their hips in the same way as a woman, but they walk with this assuredness that they are comfortable within their body, and they kind of move their body in that way as well. And how they get comfortable in their body is that self-assuredness, is that kind of knowing, is that kind of grounded stability within themselves, that they can rely on themselves. And all of that kind of comes from, yes, our experiences, but also what we do with our mind and our body as well too. So self-regulation and mindset, of course, are the first things that we kind of look at when we are wanting to become more confident. As well then too, when we want to become more confident, we do want to look after our appearance. And it's not superficial to say that, because when we meet anybody, even like luxury items and everything like that, it's human nature to judge things by appearance. And even if you look at Immanuel Kant, I think it was, that had this this work done on beauty. I'm not kind of schooled on it that much because I recently just came across it, but the kind of premise of what he was saying was that we all have different perceptions on what beauty is, but our perception is going to come from the gratification that we get from the beauty. So we could have this luxury item, and it can be something that is so beautiful to us, and we get such gratification from it. But maybe the person next door doesn't see it in that way, and they don't get the same gratification at looking at it as we do. So they don't see it as beautiful as we see it as beautiful. So beauty is it's subjective, and it's really coming from your perception. But at the same time, when it comes to appearance, we do judge things on appearance. Like it's just human nature. And as we judge things by appearance, really what we're looking at when we look to people is, I suppose, how they're kind of groomed. So if we look at somebody who is kind of groomed, and if we look at somebody who is dressed well, all of these kind of things that we can do in our day-to-day life, it doesn't mean that we have to be, perfectly looking all the time. We all have our own individual unique look, and how we kind of embrace that, and how we groom it, and how we show up for ourselves in our appearance is a part of actually becoming more confident. And why it's a part of becoming more confident is because when we can embrace our appearance and kind of, dress up in a way that we feel good in, we allow ourselves to walk out the door, and if we get extra attention, we're okay with it. Because sometimes unconsciously we dress down, and sometimes unconsciously we don't look after our appearance in certain settings, because maybe we feel that getting more attention is not something that we're confident enough with yet, and that's okay. But this would mean then that maybe we walk and we don't really kind of dress up for things. Maybe we wear tracksuit bottoms more than we would maybe trousers, or just little tiny things that is kind of unknowing to us, but we know that we can change. So remember, when we look at appearance, it's not about looks, because everybody is beautiful in their own way. And how we enhance our beauty is really kind of what it says about ourselves, or the respect that we have for ourselves. So it never comes down to superficiality. It comes down to how we want to show up in the world and what it is that we want to attract, and how confident we feel in attracting what it is that we want to attract as well too, if that makes sense. So these are just kind of little things that we can start incorporating within our daily life. They don't have to be, as I say, you don't have to dive head first into them straight away, but you can take little tiny steps each day and do what's comfortable for you. If it feels comfortable for you that you just got out of bed this morning and you made your bed, well then that's a start. That is something that is actually gearing you towards becoming more confident. So it's little tiny steps that actually make up everything then that will kind of solidify within your soul as you become more confident. So I'll leave that video there, and if you have any questions you can comment down below and I will chat to you soon.